What is happening, guys? Welcome to the Monday after. We are still in international break, but I thought I would do a stream anyway, back on the grind, back to work. How has everyone's international break been? Loads of people in the chat, chatting away, as you do. I'm a Celebrity's on. Yeah, I know. So I'm competing with Ant and Deck these days. I'm going to the FPL meetup. Yes, that's something actually, we'll get to that. We've got loads to talk about today, particularly all the questions that everyone's been asking, like should we get rid of Sterling and what's happening with McGinn, and oh my god, Liverpool are blanking very soon, what should we do? So I thought I would take this stream just to go through all the questions that I've been kind of seeing and really dig in deep. And I've actually got to grips finally with the fantasy football, the fantasy scout stuff. Colm, welcome to the stream, buddy. Big fat sexy Colm. How's it going? Thank you very much for following. So yeah, I finally got to grips with the fantasy football scout membership, and I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that, because it's actually really, really, really good, and it gives me access to loads of different data and things like that I can share with you guys. Daffs, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it. Right, I'll show you the schedule. We've also got a few things to chat about before we get to go. So let's do it. All right, so game week 13. Oh, wow, we got the followers now. DDD12345. Thank you very much for the follow, buddy. I'll never get sick of that follow thing. We don't get it too often, but when we do, there's always a few people coming through at the same time. So yeah, first announcement, quite simply, I'm gonna be at the meetup in London. Is it FF Hub and Who Got the Assist are all going to be, I think everyone is going to their meetup. It's on the 13th of December. I'm going to head down with FPL General. I'm going to meet James and Holly for the first time from Fantasy Weekly, which should be a laugh. It's going to be quite fun. They have no idea what they're getting themselves into, honestly. Like, I know on stream I can talk a lot and I can have banter. But yeah, no, in person, when I'm actually drinking and having a laugh, it gets messy. It gets really messy, especially when I start buying shots. So if you're coming, tips in the chat, you're coming. I'm looking forward to having a drink with every single one of you, man. Every single one of you. So if you're there, come say hi to me. My name's Dave. I'm very approachable. and yeah, it's gonna be great. Second announcement. Should I do it at the end? Do you guys want to know who the next FPL and chill person, guest, study person is going to be on this Thursday? I've got for you guys, for the stream, for all my bros, I'm going to be bringing on Andy. Let's Talk FPL is going to be here on Thursday for FPL and Chill. Right after his stream at 10 o'clock, he's going to come on this stream, and we're just going to find out what's happening with him and how he got into FPL, his best seasons, his fitness stuff that's been going mental. He's been doing amazing with that. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that. It's really, really awesome. So yeah, we're just going to ask him loads of questions and we're going to get drunk on stream, and it's going to be great. Yeah, woo! Chat's going crazy. Yeah, no, it's gonna be really good. I messaged him today and I was like, yeah. So is there anything you don't want me to talk about? And he was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What are we gonna be talking about? And I was like, well, for example, James didn't want me to tell anyone about his erectile dysfunction. And he laughed and he was like, right. So that was funny. But yeah, so is that announcements? I'm going to thingy. Andy's coming on. Can't really think of anything else. Yeah, so let's look at my last game week then, shall we? You can see the schedules on the screen. It's been on there for a while. Firmino out. Ayew versus Mosset, because that's what I'm looking at. And then maybe a crazy -8. And then we'll do the FPL FAQ, some questions up there. And then finally, the fixture hunt. And then we'll go and watch catch up of I'm a Celeb. So yeah, let's get right into that. So this is my game score of 60 points. Last game week, I know a few people here. What is your team? DDD DAS. Last game week. The cheaters can help James with that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I got 60 points last week. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was a lot higher than average, which was awesome. So I've been pretty pleased with that, and we're steadily climbing out. But we've got a few issues still that I need to address. Finally addressing the Firmino thing. I've given him ample time, ample time to kind of sort this curse out. I have no idea. What I want to do about this. Like, how can I have kept him for that long? I'm just an idiot. So yeah, he needs to come out, and Sterling's an issue, if maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. And then David Silva, of course, he was just a 2-3 week punt, so he's coming out definitely. So this is the transfer screen. This is what I'm looking at. So Firmino out, David Silva out, potentially a Sterling out, and potentially a Cresswell out, because he's just kind of a nothing. So yeah, not 100% sure. Daffs has had 82 points for 3 game weeks in a row. That's mental, Daffs. Well in. That's fucking... I would trade you. I would trade you for it. Oh my god. DDD got 61. That's fucking good. Like, anything above average is good. That's what you kind of want. You want to hit that average. So, well in. Like, anyone who got about 50, 60 points, good. Just good shit. Liam had a mad rise last game week. I seen it. I seen your stuff. I seen the tweet you did. Loads of green arrows all across the community. It was finally the week that everyone kind of hit. You know, like, everyone that's template in the community actually got points. Martial, Vardy, Tielemans, Madison. The only people who blanked were City assets. And funnily enough, we keep talking about losing City assets as the only people who blanked. So that's something that we're going to be talking about. Yeah, should I take a -4 hit for McGinn and Madison in for Kevin De Bruyne and Cantwell? That is a toughie. McGinn, I like. We're going to talk about him a little bit later. Madison might be a little bit injured. I'm not 100% sure what's happening with that. So if anyone has any information, then fucking let me know. Everyone's time to buy Firmino. You know, definitely is. Definitely is. Because I'm going to get rid of him. So you might as well just jump on that juicy curse points. You're all traitors if you jump on him, to be honest. If you guys buy Firmino after I sell him and he gets points, I'm just going to sit here and just sing the You're Welcome song. Dwayne Johnson's... What's the film called? Disney film. Dwayne Johnson. You're welcome, you're welcome. I forget. Regardless, that's how I'm just going to sing it. Moana. Fucking nailed it. I couldn't remember the name. Here, what do you think? I've not had one City player this year because Pep always changes his team every week. I do have Mane and Salah, and I'm 51,000th in the world. Do you think that's good? I think that's banging. I think that's great. 51,000 in the world. I mean, you've lucked out because Sterling has been playing well and Aguero at the start, but I bet your game week rank has kind of, or your overall rank has soared in the last couple of game weeks, I bet, because they've just been... You've been first at the gate of not having any City players. So yeah, right now, I'm going to show you guys what I'm planning on doing. And then if I have too much to drink, I'll show you what drunk David would do. Hold on, I think I missed a question. Where is it? I seen you. FPL Tip says, if you were on a wild card, who would you have? I would double up with Salah and Mane, as long as Salah's fine. I would have triple Chelsea attack. I'd probably take out Schmeichel and I would bring in Henderson, and maybe get 2 attacking Leicester players. Although I've kind of made my bed with the defenders and I'm very happy with doubling up on that anyway. I would probably have playing players on the bench, so El Neni would be gone and I would bring someone cheap in just because we're coming up to Christmas time, and I'm going to address that in the next couple of weeks, but that's something that I would play for. I probably wouldn't have Sterling if I wildcarded, but as I don't have my wild card, he is not a fire. So I'm just going to keep him. I had Sterling at the start, then swapped him for Mane. I had Sterling at the start and swapped him for Aguero. Woo! Yeah! It fucking worked out. Yes! It didn't. It didn't. I wish I did the Mane thing. I think Vardy and Maddison and Abraham are must-have, and I have them all. With Mane and Salah. Yeah, great. Next 2 game weeks, I want McGinn, Maddison, and Pulisic. Do you agree? I don't know if I like McGinn right now. He's got good potential, and I've actually got stats ready for him to show you. Pulisic is on my list. Actually, I'll just show you right now. Right, this is the transfers that I want to make. So as you can see, I've kept Sterling in, I've kept Cresswell in, I've changed David Silva for Mane, and I have 5.1 million to spend on my 12th man, as it were. So Musset here, 5 million. I can also afford Ayew, and who has some of the best fixtures coming up. Not this game week, because they play Liverpool, of course. So I'd actually be bringing him in and then benching him right away and playing a 4-4-2. But afterwards, they have really good fixtures. They're actually at the top of the fixture tracker that we use here on the FPL Dave stream. And I've actually, since looking at the Scout membership stuff and comparing it with the fixture tracker that I use, they're actually both really good for different things. But they both... So, for example, in the Scout, you can actually change the difficulty of the fixture. So if you think Arsenal are shite, you can move their slider right down or right up, depending on if you're an Arsenal fan or not, right? So you can change that. Whereas on the Premier League fixture tracker that I use, it actually takes it from a different database entirely. That's like an unbiased website that takes into consideration and puts algorithms into like the scoreline, how close it was, how many shots, and all that good stuff, and it all piles it together and then creates a score out of 100 for how difficult a fixture is, and then applies it. I'm sure that's what Fantasy Football Scout does, but they're slightly different. Like I've noticed that when I'm looking at Scout, something that I was like, oh, they've got the best fixtures, and I look at it and they don't have that. So I didn't realize that fixtures trackers were slightly different, but this one's quite different. So just know that when you're looking at fixture trackers, that they're not always going to be 100% accurate, and there is obviously gray areas in that. Vardy, Abraham, and Jimenez, an amazing front three. That seems like it's the in thing, isn't it? It's the in thing. Ayew being serious. Yeah, exactly. Dan James or McGinn. I do like James. He has better fixtures. So yeah, I'm just seeing that. I'm just reading the chat there. Get the Vag or the Jav. I like saying Vag. It's funny. But yeah, Jav in more civilized circles. So getting in Mane or Ayew would just be like a 12th man kind of on the bench all the time. Musset actually looks good. And if we look at his history here, do you remember that whole everyone was raging because Lundstrom was offside and he would have got an assist or whatever, and he technically wasn't offside and it was just a bunch of VAR bullshit, right? Musset was the one who scored that goal. So if he had scored, he would have had 3 goals in 4 games and 3 assists in 4 games, which is a total of 6 returns against Arsenal, Tottenham, West Ham away, and Burnley at home. Like, that's some good fixture. That they're not like the most easy games in the whole world, right? So I actually really like him. I think he's a good asset, and I watched his highlights back just to see what's going on. And the only thing that I have against bringing him in 100% is that his minutes have been poor. Now, not to take anything away from him, he's obviously earning his place in the side, but 11, then 18, 28, 30, 28, 55, 27, 64, 87, like it's going up steadily. Like the graph is doing this, or for you guys it's this, right? The graph is doing that. But you know, for someone who I want to potentially play maybe 1 or 2 games in the next X amount, I don't really know if I want to keep someone in my team for the Christmas period who doesn't really get a game a lot right now. So we'll have to see. I think I might just take him anyway, because he is showing remarkable improvement, and his stats are not lying. They're just really, really good. DD says, yeah, that's why I would never bring in someone like that. Not worth it. Yeah. It's a potential. I'm not 100%. Ayew is definitely the safer pick. 89 minutes, 90 minutes, 80 minutes, 77 minutes, 90 minutes. Those are some healthy numbers. And to be fair, in the last 4 games, he's only had 1 goal, but he has played Man City, Arsenal, Leicester, and Chelsea. Like, those are some fucking really bad fixtures. So I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do know that I really want Mane in. That's kind of an easy assessment. If I was extremely drunk and it was Friday night, and it was just before the fixture. Wait, hold on, let's check. Yeah, Friday night. I just had to check to see when the deadline is. And the fixtures were like, and I was plastered, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to make my transfers. This is what I would make. This is what I would do. Tips, Jimenez. Daft said Jimenez. A bunch of you guys said Jimenez. The problem with me getting Jimenez is, like I said, I can't afford anything higher than 5 million unless I take out Sterling. So if I take out Sterling, I can afford Mane. If I take out David Silva, I can afford Pulisic. If I take out Jimenez, Firmino, I can afford Jimenez. And then all that extra money I can add up, and it comes to Robertson. So it's really difficult to not do this because that is a banging team. That would have been a great team last week or last game week, right? Because it feels like this is quite point chasey. One of the questions in the Fantasy Weekly was, why is everyone so on Jimenez right now? Why is that something that everyone's kind of jumping into? And it was a simple, like, Wolves had bad fixtures. Jimenez, we didn't know if he was going to actually be playing week in, week out with the Europe games, etc., etc., etc. And it all comes into, it all comes down to like a perfect storm of just he's playing well, and he's consistent, right? Very consistent. 5 goals, 2 assists. In amongst the fixtures that were really difficult too, so that's decent. And then his fixtures coming up. I think his fixtures, Jimenez's, are deceptively difficult. Like Bournemouth away. Bournemouth have been defending well, not extremely well. I'm assuming they would get a goal, Wolves, but I'm not 100% about that fixture being like something they could go on and absolutely dominate. But here's the thing, like, they don't actually go out and dominate. They never do. I think they've only scored more than 2 goals, or more than 1 goal twice, I think is how I want to put it. Yeah, so where are we here? They scored 2 goals against Everton, scored 2 goals against Chelsea, 2 goals against Watford, 2 goals against Man City, 2 goals against Aston Villa, and the rest have been 1 goal. So they haven't blanked, except for, Leicester at the very, very start of the season. But they don't exactly, like, hammer opponents, right? They're not like Leicester right now. They're kind of more like Manchester United. So yeah, I can see the goals coming through him, but he's not like a must for me. He's not like someone who I'm dying to bring in and I can't have anyone else. Because like I said, the fixtures, Sheffield United, that's a clash. West Ham at home is probably their best fixture in the next 10. Brighton away, okay, like if I owned him, I would definitely not get rid of him. Then Tottenham at home, Tottenham have been playing rubbish. Norwich away is a good fixture. Like, he's got good fixtures. They're not the best, but they're pretty good. And then 1920, you could probably move away from him if you wanted to, or kind of hold him through it, because he has got history of scoring against top teams. Like, he got 2 assists against Man City this season alone. Last season, I think he got 5 or 6 assists. So he was actually playing really, really well. He just has been quite quiet through his bad fixtures, and now he's got good fixtures. He's going to flourish, and people like General and all the other experienced managers kind of brought him in last week. Italy are winning 9-1. Holy shit. Are they actually? Oh no. I'm missing a fucking drugging. Wow. Wow. Wow, Italy are playing well. To be fair, it is Armenia though. Can you tweet me your team and see what you think? Yeah, go for it, Didi. Do it. Since you're new around here, absolutely. Go for it. I'll have a wee look. Triple Chelsea. Room to do Mount to McGinn when fixture changes. Yeah, exactly. So we'll talk about that in particular because I really want to go through it. I have 2 free transfers and have 3.2 in the bank, and I don't know what to do. Potentially Callum Wilson and James out, but not sure. Yeah, we can look at it. Tips, send me your team as well, man. I don't know if we're going to be doing rate my teams on stream because I'm trying to like move away from that a lot because a lot of teams are very similar, but definitely send them to me on Twitter and I can totally look at them because it's one of my favorite things to do. Just go on the subreddit and like scroll through the thousands of questions and find and just answer. Like I really like doing that. So totally send me your team. Absolutely fine. So let's move on to the FPL FAQs because there's quite a few of them and I kind of want to give a good chunk of time in there. Daft says, don't laugh. I might take a -4 hit for a differential in Saint Maximine. Okay, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at the fact that you're taking a hit to bring a differential in because like whatever floats your penis, that's absolutely fine with me, right? But it's the little emote that you used. It's like a mushroom head. I don't know why that's is that. I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, so I'm not laughing. I'm laughing with you, buddy. I'm laughing with you. He's just posted more of them. That's gonna be a thing now. People are just gonna post them anytime anything's happening. I can feel it. Right. Let's move on. Cheers, Tips. Thanks for sending me in. All right, so the first question that we come to, are we really selling Sterling now? So, are we really selling this man? Now, the problem that I have with selling him is that simply, like, it just hurts so much to, like, not have Salah and not have Sterling based on their seasons past, right? We're kind of biased in this thinking, but also safety in numbers. If everyone gets rid of him, it's okay for me to get rid of him. But I took a step back. I was like, absolutely not. I'm just gonna go and do what I did last season, what I have kind of neglected to do this season, to truth be told, and just really dive into the fixtures and the stats and see what the pros and cons would be of taking him out, who I'm going to be taking him out for. It's ultimately Mane, and really dive in to see where I can put the money if I was to do it and if it's a good investment and blah blah blah, just all that good stuff. Column sold in game week 12. Yeah, I mean loads of people are getting rid of him and it's gonna work if he blanks, and if he doesn't, then you might have spent money elsewhere who don't blank, so therefore he's covered, right? There's no right way to play this game, and it actually makes it more interesting if everyone starts taking him out, because it means that, you know, it's more diverse, and it means that you know, things like rate my teams, they're going to be so much better now because maybe you don't have Sterling, maybe you do. Yeah, selling him for Manny is I should have brought in Manny instead of him when I did my Aguero to Sterling switchback, and it was something that I was just annoying. I was more annoyed at not having Sterling because every time Aguero blanked or didn't play, I had to watch Sterling fucking like score a goal or get an assist or whatever, or even just play. The fact he's on the pitch and Aguero was on the bench was annoying to me, and I let that get to me, and I shouldn't have done that. So but lesson learned. I'm getting a bit too attached to players this season. hint Firmino. But I thought I would take some time and really go through the stats. So the next slide I'm going to show you is from Fantasy Football Scout. They said that I could show you guys one thing per stream. I can't sell the whole farm, as it were, in terms of showing you the whole membership thing, but I can show you a little snippet. So the next slide is actually the goal involvement and what they've been doing. But I really wanted to pay particular attention to the goal attempts and big chances and shots on target and stuff, because that's where the story kind of lies with Sterling. Why is he not playing well? And why is Mane doing better than him? And can he come back? So Sterling is first for penalty touches. I'm reading my notes, by the way. That's why I'm looking over here. I'm not just staring at the mic. So he's first for penalty touches, and Mane's fifth. So he's Sterling's third for goal attempts, and Mane is fifth. The goal attempts are 19 for Sterling versus 16 for Mane, so there's not that much in it. Shots in the box is 17 for Sterling and 12 for Mane. But big chances, he's second, and Mane's first, which is 8 versus Sterling's 5. So that is obviously a big thing, is that Sterling isn't having less chances, so he's just kind of going on his own and trying to take those chances on his own, and curb something out for himself. And we see that when he's running in, and that's fine. Whereas Mane's actually getting help from Firmino and Salah, and he's actually taking those chances as well. You can see with the shots on target on the screen right now. So shots on target, 3 in the last 6 game weeks, and shots on target for Mane's 8. Mane's third for all midfielders, and Sterling's not even top 20 for shots on target, which sucks because he was so prolific last season. We all thought he had turned a corner, as it were. The shot accuracy for Mane is 50%. 50%. Mane's hitting the target half of his shots in the last 6 game weeks. That's good. That's really good. Whereas the shot accuracy for Sterling is 15%. So out of the 19 attempts and 17 shots in the box, only 3 of those have been on target. So it's not necessarily true that Sterling isn't playing as well as he has been. He's just, his finishing is missing, and so now he is out of form. So the question isn't really should we be selling Sterling or who should we be bringing in or any of that stuff. It's just, do we think that Sterling can come back? Because if he does come back and he starts putting those chances away, and the shot accuracy that is to be honest quite down, 50%. The whole of last season he was on 23%, and in just the last 6 game weeks he's on 15. So he's way below his average, and I would expect a massive upturn with someone of his quality. But you can tell he's kind of been out of sorts. He's getting yellow cards. He's been fighting with teammates. It's not been going well. He was benched for an 8-0, which would have been quite a significant boost in confidence if he was part of that. But he watched his team destroy Watford from the bench. That sucked. And then he didn't play in the internationals when they won 7-0. He's going to be fucking pissed off. Not to mention they lost against Liverpool last week quite heavily. I mean, like, I know that the scoreline was kind of exaggerated a little bit, and it was closer than the scoreline suggested, but it was still a loss to their only competition. They've also taken heavily losses elsewhere. So yeah, he's out of form. And the form, we'd expect in the last 6 for him to do really well. But he played, who did he play in the last 6? Let me see. I've got it up here somewhere. Where are you? I wrote it down. Oh yeah. Everton, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Southampton. Those were his last games that he played. And that was the second best fixtures of 6 for any team in the Premier League. They were second in the fixture tracker. So you'd expect Sterling to thrive, and he didn't. Whereas Mane played against like Tottenham, Man City obviously, and he's getting these goals, and he's working for his team. So no wonder everyone's bringing Mane in. But is Sterling going to keep his form? Or sorry, is he going to bring his form back? So last season he got 8 out of 10 returns against the top 6. The season before he got 6 out of 7 games. His harder games are at home in the next couple of games. His easy games are away, which statistically is better for him. He actually has been playing a lot better away than at home, which also shows a bit of like tension. So and I'll show you that right now. So his next 6 are Chelsea, Newcastle, Burnley, Manchester United, and Arsenal. And then he's got Leicester. So those are really difficult fixtures, right? But he has been performing well against the top 6. So I'm not 100% sure what to do, basically. Like, Sterling has got all of the potential to do what he has been doing for 3 seasons now. He's dropped off in the last 6, which kind of sucks because City in general have dropped off. But if they can come back, they can destroy anyone. And that's kind of what we're going to be saying over and over and over again with City assets. So it really just comes down to personal preference. Are you okay with getting rid of him? Is it for Mane? Then that's a straight up yes. If Sterling is the only way that you can get Mane, then it's like obvious yes. Mane's got better fixtures. He's in way better form. He's finishing his chances. He's getting more big chances. So Mane's the way to go. However, if you can get both of them, or if you already have Mane and you have Sterling and you're thinking about getting rid of Sterling, I think that I'm going to give him more time. And it's only because I can get Mane in a different way, and I can get rid of 2 players that haven't been doing well. But it obviously comes down to your team. It's Raw says he's happy with his KDB as his only City asset. FPL tip says a Salah Mane double up. Although if he was on wildcard, you do Mane, Trent, Robertson. Yeah, I can see that. Obviously, less injury rates. Salah's a major doubt right now. Do you think Saint Maximin is better than McGinn and Dan James? I don't. I think McGinn is the best out of those 3, but I would do James and then McGinn. Maybe. I'm about to confirm. What percentage of FPL skill, luck, and dumbness? There is a website that shows luck. Yeah, I was actually looking at that. It's really interesting. It shows how the luckiest FPL players and the most unlucky managers and stuff. I think there's definitely a healthy amount of luck. I forget what the website's called. Colin, if you've got it, totally link us that. You can get Sterling back in 2. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, if you can bring him back and you don't want to wait to see if his form comes in, and you've got transfers or you've got your wild card in your back pocket, then it's so easy to get rid of Sterling, right? It's fair enough. But for me, Chelsea at home, and then 2 good away fixtures, Newcastle and Burnley, and he's playing better. Based on the scout membership stats, he plays, and when you compare himself with home games versus himself away games, his away stats are way better. He's scored 5 goals over 2. He's got his assists away instead of home, etc., etc., etc. The next wildcard is available in game week 21, which is next year, right? So January 1st. Oh, it will be available for game week 22. So yeah, for me, Sterling is going to be in the team. I think I'm going to keep him because I think that Chelsea's a difficult game, but after coming back from, and he played really well internationally as well, Sterling did. He came off, he was obviously dropped. They obviously did well without him. He came in, he got 2 assists. He played really well. He was very involved in everything. So yeah, I'm just going to keep him. And if he doesn't do well, I can always find something else to do with the money. But I totally understand anyone bringing in Mane for him because he's just better. He's just better. And I will be getting Mane this week. All right, next question. Everyone's been talking about McGinn. What's happening with McGinn? McGinn scored a few fucking goals for Scotland. He got an assist. He got a goal. Is he back? Etc. Etc. He plays Newcastle next, I think. Should we be getting him in? Blah 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 blah. This always happens. He is like the best Scottish player, I think, by a long distance. So he's the only one in the Premier League who's doing well right now. McBurney hasn't been playing well at all. He's not really mentioned anymore. He was only really mentioned because he had a big fee, but I think they overpaid for him. All the other players from Scotland are from Scottish teams, really. I think, who's it that plays for Southampton? Stuart Armstrong, right? But he hasn't really been getting a game for Southampton at all, etc., etc. So It's hard to be like McGinn is the best player ever when he does well for Scotland. And if you notice, he does well for Scotland, and then everyone kind of wants to get him. However, FPL Dave is on the case, scouring over the stats for you guys. So Scotland game, he looked good. Looked good all season, to be fair. He's been playing very attacking, and his heat map is particularly amazing, right? He's playing more like Mount than he is a centre midfielder. He's just the driving force in that attack. I know he's been playing a little bit back, but he has been playing really well overall, and I think he's a good asset. The disrespect to Robertson. Oh, I meant attackers. I guess Robertson's a midfielder, to be fair. No, Robertson is definitely the best Scottish player. I was thinking more midfielders. I wasn't thinking of defenders at all. Because obviously Tierney is also better as well. Don't you worry, guys. FPLreview.com season review. Oh, is that the lucky thing? I'll have a look at that later. Thanks very much for linking that. Hold on, I gotta save that shit. Bam. Saved. I'm gonna look at that later. So yeah, so McGinn, his heat map for this season has been amazing. Like, out of position amazing. Lundstrom amazing. 17 goal attempts in the last 6. 8 of them were in the box, so just under 50% of them were actually in the box. For a centre midfielder to get in the box and take off 8 shots is really good. 17 shots in total in the last 6 makes him the fourth highest midfielder for shots, for attempts on goal. That's fucking wild. That's really good. That's extremely good. His next 6, though, are the thing that's putting everyone off, right? Newcastle, Manchester United, Chelsea, Leicester, and Sheffield United. Those aren't very good fixtures. Not good at all. And he's too expensive to keep on your bench. So you can get him for Newcastle, right? That's a little bit squished, isn't it? That doesn't look that great. Newcastle is good. You play him, absolutely fine. Manchester United, you might play him, but it is away, and I wouldn't expect him to get too much out of that. Chelsea away, again, that's difficult. Leicester at home is the hardest one there. Sheffield United, even though that shows that as a 2, we know, me and you, me and all the community, we all know that Sheffield United away is a fucking difficult game. So difficult. Is Salah fit? I'm going to Google it. Salah injury update.